All right, everybody. This is a quick test here because, as you know, I recently moved again, and I want to make sure that the equipment is good for tomorrow's reading. I thought it would be a great chance for us to also check in on a couple of things, seeing how you're doing during this retrograde cycle. I know we have done a couple of readings on manifestation, so we can check and see if there's any potential blocks or blessings in respect to that. And also, I wanted to just do a quick elemental check-in. So we're going to keep this quick tonight. I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes so I can get some rest. But I also want to make sure that you can see me, you can hear me, and that this will be ready for tomorrow. All right. So if I haven't already said what we're doing today, it's the impromptu. And basically, like I said, an impromptu is unannounced. It's for everybody here that's present. We will do a check-in for the elements, but other than that, everything that I read is for everyone that's present. So you don't miss out on anything like this, please do follow, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so that you're kept in the loop whenever I do this. I'm glad that some of you in Australia and other parts of the world are able to join me. On occasion, I will do an evening reading. I tend to do mornings because I'm a little bit more awake, but today I'm feeling good and I wanted to test it. And so sometimes when I'm testing out new formats or new equipment, I'll just do an unannounced, and that's what the impromptu is. So welcome to my temporary home. I basically, like I said, for the past few months here when I was in the new place, I kept intuitively picking up on some issues, which ended up being termites, and I was seeing what would be a future sort of flood, so I'm glad I got out in time. And intuition is great. It doesn't always come when you think it will, but when it does come, you're so happy it's there, and likewise for that. One thing that I like about this is I'll be doing it from the couch here. It's kind of comfy, and Apollo can be behind us the whole time. I don't have to pull him up or anything. He's taking a little nap behind us, but tomorrow morning he should be awake. So I love that he can now be a part of this, and maybe whenever I finally get settled, I like the couch idea, but I need to adjust it a little bit. We'll play around with the setup here. I pulled the camera closer because before it was way too far off, and I wanted to be able to see you, and vice versa. All right, so please do give me a follow on social media too. That way you'll be kept in the loop as well when I do the impromptus. If you want to show some love and support, you can do that as well. Without any further delay, let's take a look at manifestation. So let me make sure the table is set up. We're going to have a wooden table for the short term, which is kind of cool for a change. So I'm going to do a past, present, and future pull on the retrograde first. So let's look at retrograde and see what kind of messages are coming through for this retrograde cycle. All right. Past, present, and future. Well, I'm liking what I'm seeing on all of this. So again, this is basically for everybody, looking at what's helping, hindering, and kind of what this is all opening up for us. So in the past, we actually have the Nine of Pentacles, which is fantastic. Looking at retrograde energy, one thing that this would warn you of is impatience. So, and also sometimes being afraid of accepting help. So the upright, when we look at this, it's pretty positive. Nine of Pentacles indicates sustainability, abundance, the ability to not only make, but also continue to exist within the flow of prosperity. With it reversed, there can be doubt. Sometimes we become our own worst enemy. We'll say, gosh, when is this going to end? If something good happened in your life, or can I really handle this? If a good opportunity has come across your path, or if you finally found luck in love, you're wondering when that person is going to go the other direction. And there's this sense of needing to prove that you can do this all on your own, that you're going to be okay. And so what I'm getting in this retrograde cycle is expect that it can go better than you think. That's something actually that I've been experiencing as I've been going through all of these movements. So just take a page from my own book. I was able to get released from my lease. I was able to get my deposit. I was able to move on, and everything worked out. And I wasn't sure if all of that would happen, but it did. And so I always leave room for the universe to support me, even when change happens. So I want you to kind of imagine that even if things are uncomfortable, even if there's something that happened that wasn't so great, maybe it was a car accident, maybe it was an injury, maybe there was a financial loss, look at how you're going to be able to recuperate from that, because this is a card of sustainability. So you're going to be okay. Look at maybe thinking about how much better this ended up than it could have been. And maybe in the past, things were a little bit trickier than they were now. So I'm getting kind of an energy of bouncing back and thinking, again, we talked about before, all of this or better. Imagine that it's already going better than you imagined. Okay? Open yourself up for support and open yourself up for the possibility that it isn't going to get worse, that isn't going to go away, that you're actually trending in the right direction, because Nine of Pentacles indicates all of that, folks. Okay? And just like me in this moment, you may decide to do something bold, something big. Yes, we're in the middle of retrograde. Yes, there are complications when you do big, bold moves in retrograde, but there are also great payoffs. And for some of you, this might be just wrapping up unfinished business, right? And retrograde is really good for that. Sometimes we're afraid to make any movement during a retrograde. You shouldn't be afraid of that, because it's a time to revise, revisit, repair, renew. Anything with an RE basically you're fine with. So if there's something that you've been thinking, I really need to finish this, I really need to fix this, or this is a pattern and I'm sick of it, or there's something that I made an error in judgment. This is where you review. And that's why I made a decision where I was like, things are good, but they could be better. And I'm ready to make a reparation, a review, a change, and I'm going to make it better. So if you're willing to take the sort of trade-off of that, then this is a good period for that. The other thing here is, gosh, I really feel like anything that happens to you in this retrograde, whether expected, unexpected, whether at the time it feels like it's not so good, or whether it feels euphoric, it's all for expansion. It's all for betterment. So you're trending in the right direction. And what we see here for the future is something that you can really sink your teeth into. Eight of Pentacles. Any of you that are looking at like, what can I do to be better? I see so much learning. I feel like there's also a karmic lesson that you finally released. And how exciting is that when you can finally release that, right? So one of the things here is just, are you ready and are you willing to do that? Because sometimes we get stuck in the fear of this, which is what? Change, right? So don't be afraid of the change. This is about as good as it can get when I'm looking at something like a retrograde sort of reading. So I feel like you're headed in a fantastic direction, and I want you to stay open and not be afraid to ask for help. And I think the really big takeaway here is it could be better than you think, and it could end up trending in a better direction than you ever anticipated. This is a time and a season for you to change your luck. And I do believe that luck is something that we are actively participating in and moving and shifting. Okay? So it's looking good, folks. All right? And I think that for a large part, those of you that are showing up, you're already doing the work. You're already believing in your ability to move and change and work, and that's great. And one more thing, as we're looking at all of these, there's a big sort of energy here of abundance in resources. So we've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles surrounded by the world. So expansion and knowledge and movement. And that's all, again, like we could ask for. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. All right. So let's go ahead and clear these cards. And that was for our retrograde check-in. Why don't we focus on manifesting? Because I think it's a really nice complement to this. And you can manifest change, you can manifest healing, you can manifest abundance. So many different things that could be the focus here. So let's go ahead now and, sorry, getting used to the setup here, and see where you're at in respect to manifestation. Okay, I also like what I'm seeing here. The interesting thing that we're looking at, and again, some of this could be coming up in the course of this retrograde, because these two are tied together. You want to make a change, but there's some lessons that you have to learn. So the lesson that is asking for you to kind of pay a little bit more attention is, first of all, you're exactly where you need to be. The Four of Cups is often a card of comparing oneself to others in our lives. You're looking at maybe your sister, your mother, your brother, a college friend, and you're thinking, why did they get that? Why am I not there? And this card is saying, that's not your path, first and foremost. And secondly, there are other blessings and other lessons that are ripe for the picking and right in front of you as well. Don't despair, but do tune in and do look around you, okay? Very synchronistic here and very similar. So we had the world before, and what comes after the world? Well, we reset the cycle and we go back to the Fool. And this is an empowered Fool. Look at her with that beautiful crystal there in her hand, an amethyst. Look at her with her eyes closed, and it's almost like a trust fall, right? She trusts that this next phase, this sort of surrender, is not only necessary, but that she's actually being supported in this surrender. And as you kind of move on your spiritual path, one thing that you'll learn is that there's only so much that you can foresee. There's only so much you can plan. And there comes a point where you have to sort of surrender to the universe and say, I've done it all. I'm ready now. Let's do this. Let's see where it goes. And for manifestation, that sweet surrender is really the message for the here and the now for all of you tuning into this impromptu, okay? And what awaits you is support, surprising support. So we have the Four of Wands in reverse. Four of Wands in the upright position is all about that kind of love and that friendship that we're looking for. It's basically a card that I would expect with a contract that's going to last, a best friendship, monogamy, platonic relationships as well. But it's basically that person that's there that really has your back. Some of us may have thought to ourselves inaccurately, and in a one way, shape, or form, it can actually manifest. I'm never going to find that kind of partnership, that kind of support, that kind of family in my life. Stop thinking that way. The big message tonight in our kind of impromptu is this can be better than you think. That tomorrow could be a really great day. We have to hold that thought out there so that it becomes a magnet for the universe. And so for you, the number one thing in manifestation is expect a good surprise. Let's look at those cards again. They look great to me. This is saying there could be something that's already happening that's beyond your vision because you're looking in another direction, right? This card is saying now is the time for a sweet surrender, for a release, and just to trust that you've done the work, because that is all we have to do at a certain point is line it all up, and at a certain point just show up. And you have support. This is the trust fall. This is the universe coming in as that safety net to say, yes, I've got you. Yes, I see you. Yes, job well done. Okay? So far, I like what I see. And again, I like to look at these periods in time as a blessing. So a lot of times we fear retrograde. More often than not, retrograde is a great time for me. Things are resolved. Opportunities open. Yeah, there's complications. Sometimes, like I said, you're going to have issues with technology. You might have an injury. You might have something that pops up. But because we're focusing on what we talked about in one of the last collectives, all of this or better, because tonight we're focusing on it could be better than I imagined, we're opening up different doorways in the future. We're going to move on to the elements because this is just kind of fun tonight. I thought we would look at this earth, air, water, and fire. Also, I didn't do one card pulls for the past 2 days. I will start those tomorrow again, your daily reads, mostly because I was in the middle of moving, folks. Some of my stuff is in storage, some of it's here. I had to figure out how I was going to set it up in this room, and so I needed a couple days. And it was also really nice and restorative to just take 2 days off because I never stop working. So I feel really good tonight, and I like to practice what I preach sometimes and just take some time. So that's why I just needed a little refresh. All right, we're going to pull 4 cards here for fire, earth, air, and water, and then we'll revisit and talk about what's happening for each of these elements in this moment in time. And this is for now. This is for right here, right now. And, I do weekly collectives. I did one on Saturday this week. But this is for this moment in time when you see it. It's a little bit more immediate. All right. Fire. Earth. Air. And water. Let's take a look at these cards and see what's going on. We'll begin with my fire signs. So this is for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So for you, we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a card of changing perspective. With a change in perspective comes a change in direction. And it also opens up the ability for others to step in and support you. Although it's not clearly visible in that one. I'll see if I can pull it in the traditional Rider-Waite deck here. But the Five of Cups usually has 2 cups in the background, representing friendship, partnership, or again, that sort of trust fall where the universe says, I know you've been through a hard time. I know things have been tricky, but I have someone or something there as a reward for you, as a as a silver lining, if you will, for this experience. So we'll see if I can find the card here. I'm taking my time. But one thing that you want to focus on is thinking about why it is that you are upset. I think as spiritual light workers, we always need to acknowledge that it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be hurt. But there might be something that we can learn from that. Let's see, I've got the Four of Cups here. It must be right at the end. It's not coming through, but I'll do one more time as I'm talking. The main thing that I would say with this is when you start to focus on the things that you can control, something magical happens. First of all, you don't feel so angry. We all feel angry sometimes. Like I'm sure many of you have been in a car accident, or you've dropped a glass in the kitchen, or you didn't charge your phone and it goes out during the middle of a conversation. Something happens where you think, I wish I could have, I should have done this. You know what? Here we go, Five of Cups. I was stubborn. I'm like, we're going to find this card here. So with the Five of Cups, what you'll notice is we've got the two cups in the background, representing that the universe has something good. There's something to celebrate, but you're focusing instead on what is spilled. And in this card, we see the unhappy horse looking down, not looking up. So the important thing for you is when you start to look around and say, okay, now I know what the challenge is. Show me the blessing. Show me the silver lining. Show me how I can make this better. And if you can do that, then the universe starts to say, good, I'm glad that you were open to moving beyond this lesson. You can also express gratitude. Thank you for teaching me about this. You don't have to do it in this way anymore. I don't need an injury. I don't need damage. I don't need to have all of these challenges going on. I've got it, and I'm ready to move past this. Show me the Two of Cups universe. Show me the love. And then look around and expect to see something bright. So we're really shifting our perspective in this impromptu tonight, and it's going to change each and every sign as we go through that. All right, so that, my friends, is everything for fire. It's saying that the things are going to start to look up. You just have to look in a different direction, and you have to expect the love to come through. And that's what it is for you, love, support, and that trust fall that we were talking about. Trust yourself as well. All right, so we just finished fire. Let's move along to earth. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Very practical energy coming through for you. We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is about, we actually saw that coming through in the future state, I think, when I was looking earlier for, I can't remember if it was manifestation or retrograde in this. It was retrograde because we had all the pentacles. So anyway, what this is really showing in this moment is productivity. I feel like many of you, not only have you learned some of the lessons, you're maybe one step ahead of some of the folks that are what we look at first, fire. So earth, you're grounded and you think, all right, I understand why this is happening and I want to do something. You seem very goal-oriented right now, and I think that's important and that's going to help out. Look at the fine print. Spend some time with education and knowledge expansion stuff. Edit, revise. The written and spoken word are very much supported by that, especially the written word. So this is a great time to get things done. It's also, I love that in many decks, both, there's three cards that usually have spiders and spider webs. It'll be Eight of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. The Eight of Pentacles is very much what we see here. The spider has laid out the web, but we don't yet see the fruit of the labor there. The prey is not there yet. So for you, all the sort of legwork, the groundwork, the research that you're doing now will pay off. Don't despair if you haven't seen what you're looking for just yet. This is time well spent. Eight of Pentacles, you always get a return on investment. So don't give up, keep working hard, and take some time to celebrate how much work you've done and keep thinking like soon, this is going to happen soon, okay? And sometimes what I do if I get impatient is I distract myself and focus on something else that needs my attention. Lo and behold, like a bubbling sort of, like water that you're waiting to bubble, all of a sudden it's boiled and you're ready to cook and things are happening, okay? But it's a great week overall, and we see a return on energetic investment when we're looking at all of our earth signs. Moving from earth to air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. For you, many of you are thinking, should I stay? Should I go? Making and breaking cycles. This is a very unusual Eight of Cups because normally we would see a person in this taking a trip, getting some distance, exploring a little bit. But in this one, what we see is the end of something, cyclical change. And so I think this can be good, but it can also be scary because cycles, although, sometimes we wish we could change things, once the change happens, we enter into this unknown sort of state. And for many of you, being comfortable with ambiguity will be the biggest challenge and the biggest opportunity for you in this moment in time. But here's the fun part. This means that it's all about invention. It's all about exploration, and the sky's the limit. So I'd like for you to find freedom in the ambiguity or in the dark. And that's what we see with this, with the darkness. And for some of you, this has been a tricky time. Maybe you've had a lot of emotional trauma or drama, or there's just been a lot that's been going on just in your heart space. And that's what the rain is symbolizing. And this is saying, that's okay. That's part of this. But I do see a brighter tomorrow. And I do see that if you're ready to explore the sort of unknown, then great things can happen. And so it's always dark in the beginning, just like a new day. And you just have to set your eyes on the horizon and keep walking. The traditional Eight of Cups would show a person taking a walk. There's always room to return. So it is the card of open doors. But the question for you is, do you really want to return? Why would you return? Why not explore and set your sights on something new? So any part of your life that you want to see a cyclical change in right now, you're very much supported on that. And if you need to take a step away, the door is open. You don't have to burn any bridges. And if you have to part something, even if you want it to be a permanent change, you're still going to leave it on a good note, a better note than you anticipated. And that's the kind of magic of this. For whatever reason, this retrograde may be challenging, but things are not necessarily going to be as difficult as they could have or should have been. And that's partly because we're all energy alchemists and we're ready for change, and we don't want that anymore. So if you're tuning in, that's my message for you. You can actually get through a change easier than you thought. Okay? And the other thing with the Eight of Cups is it's a sticky card, just like the Eight of Pentacles is. This one perhaps even a little bit more, as illustrated here. But you can make or break. And even though we're shown the broken cycle, that's actually making way for a new cycle. So there is a nice consistency that comes with the Eight of Cups. And if you want to make something new happen, go for it. All right. And now finally, moving on to water, and you showed up as yourself, which is cool. We have the Ace of Cups. We've got a lot of water throughout this reading with the 5, the 8, and now the Ace. For you, what we're seeing is an opportunity for new love, new ideas, new beginnings. Hey, buddy. Apollo, you want to say hi to everybody? Yes. New love, new beginnings, new opportunities. So this is all about stepping into something that feels good and not repeating the old. The other thing with this, highly creative, highly receptive. So when you practice the mantra, all of this or greater, I'm ready to receive all of this or greater. Water signs more than anybody right now are actually in that nice receptive space where change and opportunity can enter in much more easily than it can for the other signs right now. You can improve relationships. You can start new relationships. You can connect with your guides. You can connect with creativity, and new things may land in your lap. The question for you, I guess it would be a little bit of discernment. What feels right for you? What do you want to do? And these are the things to consider. Okay? So, yeah, look at Apollo. He likes to hide. I put a little blanket here for him. But I love that he can actually be more of a part of our reading. So this is a nice little development here. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. I said I was going to keep it short, and I am. We'll pull one card here momentarily for the road, but I'll do more of these readings occasionally. It always boggles my mind because I give a lot of time and energy. Sometimes people will sit there and complain about the length, or they're insulting and they say, I wish she would just be quiet, too much talk. So I'll do shorter ones occasionally, but one thing that's kind of nice, I like to think of these as like fireside chats where we can just hang out. Sometimes I have a lot to say. Sometimes it's brief and short. Look at the variety that I offer on the channel. There are 1-minute readings. There are 20 to 25-minute readings. And then, sometimes we talk for 1 or 2 hours. So you can pick what you want. But that's kind of why I do the different offerings. Tonight, just something quick. But while I'm here, I have to do everything using my 5G phone. So I wanted to make sure that I could still stream it in 1080p, and it looks like I can. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much. If you did, please subscribe so you know when I do these impromptus. They will be unannounced, and I'd like to do more of them as time allows. Join me on social media if you haven't already. I'm going to say thanks in just a moment for everyone that did a super chat and super sticker. And just a quick reminder, if you do follow me on social media, remember that I never use any sort of direct messages. Okay. One last thing that I want to do is I'm going to pull a final card. So I want you to focus on something before we do the thank you. If there's a question that you have in your life right now, something that you need help on, we'll do one final card and then I'll do thanks. All right. So for this final card, just focus on your question and let's see, one for the road, what the messages have to say, what the guides have to say. All right. 10 of Cups in reverse. So first of all, this is a very positive energy, and it's reminding you that you have more love and support than you may anticipate. When it comes to a yes/no, it's a complicated card. If you're looking for love or you're looking for an engagement or some sort of an opportunity and you're wondering, should I do this? Should I go to this party? Should I say yes to this invitation? There's a caveat with this. I see a lot of positivity, so I would say yes, but don't feel like you have to make everyone happy. Don't say yes to everything that everyone asks for. Hold your ground, have some healthy limits. And some of you may just be in a situation where because you're so supportive, likable, or you just have this great healing energy that people think that they can constantly kind of like infringe on your privacy or your energy. So remember here that you count, you're part of this equation, and that it's okay to ask for what you want for. Anytime 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Cups is in reverse, it's kind of a good problem to have because it shows that you're in high demand. But put some limits on that and know that it's okay to take a day off like I did. It's okay to say no to something. It's okay to leave early. And it's essential for you also to not dim your light, mute your light, or change your personality just to please other people. Be yourself, be authentic. That's always going to help you in the long run. You'll always prevail with that kind of attitude. Okay? All right, I want to end this with gratitude. Thanks for showing up, everyone. I'm going to quickly look at anybody that gave back today. We'll start off with the brand new members. So let's see if we had any new members here or anyone within the last day or so, and I'll acknowledge them. It looks like no one new for today, so that's fine. I see a couple from a few days ago, so I'll just say thanks to Kitty Cat Black, Mauricia D. McCullough, and Adid, I think it is. So thanks to all of those folks. Now for the supers tonight, any super sticker or super chat, I'm going to say hello and thank you for that. So it looks like we have a few. I really appreciate it. Rosemary, thanks for kicking things off tonight. Sash, thank you as well. Adrian Wagner, thank you. Kitty Cat Black, thank you. Also, thanks for re-upping the membership. Sherry Wolf, Michelle Buckoff, again, Sherry Wolf again. Kendra Williams, Kathy Ahern, April Rain, and Brenda Turner. Good to see all of you tonight. Thanks for staying up late for the folks on the East Coast. And hopefully this was good for some folks on the other side of the globe. I think that's everything. Okay, Savannah East and Raven RB. Much love and light to all of you. So I will be live tomorrow. I'm going to remind myself who I'm reading for because it's been a minute. I'm reading for Scorpio. And I'll take some time early tomorrow morning to get up and maybe put on a couple of the other upcoming readings so you know which ones are coming next. Again, it's been a busy week for me. I packed up an entire apartment, put it into storage, and then brought some of my stuff here. And I'm looking for a new place. So it was a lot of energy, and I had to just like sleep yesterday and take care of myself. So I'm back. I'm feeling good about my decision to make change happen. And I like to talk about it too, because all of us can make things happen even in a retrograde. It's not the most convenient. And yes, there were complications, but was it worth it? Totally. Remember what I talked about for you. This is a time to expect things to work out better than you anticipated. It's a time to look around at the love and support that the universe has for you. And it's a time to continue to remember that you are actively participating and manifesting tomorrow. Okay? So today may not have been the greatest day, but tomorrow can be. Tomorrow can be great. And let's focus on making it that. All right. Lots of love and light to all of you. I'll see Scorpio tomorrow. I'll start posting the future videos as well. And I'll get back into the one-day pulls. I'll probably start with tomorrow's Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I'll do one for Wednesday, and we'll just get ahead again. And I took a few days off, and thanks for letting me do that. All right. See you all soon. Thank you so much. And have a great evening or great morning, depending on where you're at. All right. Bye-bye, folks. Thank you.